Life is a puzzle. You are born with a set of genetic pieces of which you gradually become aware. The first stage of training is made of play. This is the child. We travel for about half an hour in a Sydney model train full of middle-aged surly proletariat men, very few women visible in the streets or on the train. Siamak meets us at the railway and we stop for tea. There's lots of hot water urns where you get a cup with a tea bag and a sugar stick. They come in mint, lavender and ginger. We drive to a rough street of junkyards. The first one we go into is loaded with possible stuff. Some great looking space frames with communicating clips, plastic pallets with wire cables, doors, a very enthusiastic guy with the constant suggestions when we tell him what we're after. We want light and strong. We must have gone into more than 10 yards, but none as bountiful or as amenable as the first. We stop in a junk store cafe and eat dal with carbonated buttermilk and an old opium junkie on the ground behind us. Iranian men smoke a lot. Siamak drops us off at town and we take a bus to the university. We sit with three other officials from the festival and Omid gives them a rundown on our plans, which now include a demountable earthquake shelter. Monday, 3rd of December. Good day, bad day pattern, only by degree, can be measured by incremental progress. While we eat bread, jam and feta for breakfast, I show him my Life is a Puzzle manifesto and strategy, since we don't have one yet, and he is totally on board. At one point we are stopped by a solid 50-ish man who asked Omid to ask me about the world government, if they could buy his bodily pieces, because he can't find a job and needs the money. Omid is sympathetic. I'm not so. You gradually become aware of the chaos of life. This is the adolescent, where you have a choice, either the varieties of ways to go insane, or to respond to your instinct and try to make a shape of it, to give it order. This is the young adult. God knows what I'm doing. Siamak is full on, overall, cigarette and a full panoply of power tools. I only have to suggest something and it's done. So he gets tables spliced together in numerous ways. He made 60-degree couplings for the tetrahedron, but they don't stand up. By the end of the day, there's a room full of tetrahedrons somehow. Tuesday, 11th of December. Not a question of alternate good and bad, more like difficult and easy. Still, only quantifying in terms of stress, which isn't the principal determining factor. Not when every day is a revelation to some degree. But after a difficult night full of workshop apprehension, I must say it was a bit of a relief and a joy to interact with Omid and my yesterday's structures. It gives me a little bit more direction and confidence. Siamak is totally on it, amazed by tensegrity and finally coming up with his own ideas, like the spiral stairs from the plastic pallets. Reza is God's gift to endeavour. His humble assistance is measured and aware. Ami and Mahmoud photograph and 360-degree film everything hands-on, so it's an easier day. Iranian traffic is pretty unruly. No obvious police presence, and you're dodging speeding motorcycles on the footpath. Red lights are relative. Go down for dinner and there's only soup, but soup is sufficient. Wednesday, 12th of December. Morning meditation, pretty essential these days. Reza stayed in Omid's room last night, and then all three of us walked to the workshop. Although it's only 9 o'clock, everyone's there. So I begin with 5 minutes meditation, followed by Om 3 times. Although the third was the best, and maybe we'll do 6 tomorrow. Stand up for Zah, not bad. Then sound ball, then what am I doing? Also not bad. A few reticent and a few super keen. Then intro time plus tea. And then one by one you get Omid to play with yesterday's structures, so they seem to get the idea, because when we start taking them apart, they immediately start rebuilding. Somehow we set a throne precedent, so there were 3 or 4 thrones, a spaceship, a toilet, a courtroom, and about 10 things altogether. Thursday, the 13th of December. Then Reza, Omid and I walked the long walk to the workshop by 9:45. Our 20 members are on the spot. Then we go round the constructs from yesterday's and get them to play them out. This is a great success. I'm surprised how well they rose to the occasion. Omid was a good spark in all of it, and then I get them to disassemble everything and build earthquake shelters, while we build a dome, and after the dome, the sphere. A few weaving mistakes, but overall also a success. So I'm left with what to do tomorrow. This is the real workshop. Friday the 14th of December. A bit less sporadic and don't finally wake up till 6:30. Meditation is so good that I almost get lost. I start to explain some geodesic geometry principles to Omid on the blackboard and suddenly notice that a quiet audience is also listening, so it becomes a more general geometry class. The meditation, Om, what are we doing, seems to get better every day. We began by going around the earthquake shelters that turned out to be a good idea because some of the men came from earthquake areas in the north and so had put consideration into their design. First day was getting to know the things and playing with them. The second day was more functional and skillful, and now today we had to begin to build the city. First I suggested how I would support the dome, and then asked for suggestions. The best was a cross of 2 triangles making a 6-pointed star. So we tied up 3 of these, for which we needed a knot class. The dome installed, I had to defer a mad idea to invert the log tripod and build buttresses. Saturday, 15th of December. So the final day has finally arrived. Good 2-egg breakfast. Reza has gone to get himself a white costume, so just Omid and I walked to the workshop a bit early. So you select or are handed a particular shape or direction and try to fit the pieces to fit together. This is the apprentice. This is the functional construction of the young adult. The evolution of the process is marked by revelation when 2 or 3 pieces fit. Then, with the advent of the other workshops coming up at 12, we put the finishing touches to the city. They're slow to respond at first, but once one guy addresses the two souls on the minaret, who he plays out as his parents, about how he was neglected by them as a child, all sorts of wild girls launch into all sorts of chants and songs. Suddenly, with banging drums, it turns into a theatrical orgy. Reza all the while, blindfolded in white, first with an ink pad to fingerprint him, and then skipping, he was the silent centre to it all.
Amin can Hudaya amin. Ay 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 ay
We took the whole thing down in half an hour, had lunch and walked home.